Guys, FOMC breaking news. FOMC is running for 3 days, and we are the only channel covering it, so you're in the right place at the right time. What's going on, guys? Happy Thursday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. Today, like every single day, we're coming at you live. We have a packed show for you today. We have the economic report by the White House. We got that broken down. We have the information on banking and what Janet Yellen said. We have that broken down. We have Coinbase being served a Wells notice. We have that broken down. And we have a lot of things broken down, and I wish I can break down your co-host, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, and stale information and repackage it up in a fun and sexy way. Man,
What did I actually mean when I said break you down?
No idea. No,
I don't either.
Don't really care.
I want to take it back. Actually.
Yeah.
It could be construed in multiple different ways.
Bitcoin's over 28,000 again, man.
Dude, it had a monster.
I think it hit 29 and bounced right back down this morning.
Well, it was at 20. I saw it at 28.7.
Yeah.
And so,
I guess, I didn't quite get there, but yeah, it was getting up
prior
there.
to the FOMC yesterday, it did get up to almost 29K. But that's not where we're starting. You know where we're starting. We're starting with random funny. And so, first thing I want to talk about, since the Fed FOMC meeting was yesterday, I have a beautiful video I'd like to show you on Twitter. And so this is the Fed fixing our economy.
Working and failing, working and failing.
Oh, A+. C-, not so fast. A+. D-, nope. A+. 41, you were late? Nope. A+. What's the date?
Do you think that's what they're doing?
Yeah.
Is that they're like, oh, economy's doing great. Like, is it?
Yeah, look. We just gotta add a letter here and add a line there and plus minus, and we're good to go. So okay. So you know Hezbollah, right?
The what?
Hezbollah.
What's that?
Okay. This is Hezbollah here. So Hezbollah is so he suffers from what's called dwarfism. So he's 20 years old, but he looks like he's a kid. And so this is him and Mike Tyson. Okay. So this is from @JasonEG33. How much you want to bet that Mike doesn't know that Hezbollah is grown? Okay. I don't know. It's really funny. You might not find this funny, but I find it hilarious. There's like a boxer, right? And he takes him like, oh, come here. This is an adult here. This is an adult. So.
Did he try to bite his ear? And that's what it looked like.
He was tickling him, trying to bite his ear, one or the other, who knows? But
bite his ear. It's an early bloomer.
Like
he's
a
an early
baby.
Come here. Hey, I'm 20 years old, man.
They call me the piranha.
I think you don't know who Hezbollah is. And then something weird, dude. So when I say tornado, right? What are some states you think of? Well, Midwest, Oklahoma,
Florida.
blah, 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 right? Do you ever think of LA? Los Angeles? No. Well, guess what? A freaking tornado struck down in Montebello, California yesterday. This is in like the valley. And so I lived around this area years ago. And we're seeing tornadoes in California. This is kind of weird. Any of you in the chat, you guys have any family or friends that live out in this area? Share some of what they shared with you. I'm curious because something I would ever expect. California is the last place you would think of. I mean, Rocco goes to California all the time. Have you ever seen a tornado there?
No.
No, never. All right. Let's get into.
Didn't it snow here in Vegas like a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago?
It did.
You got tornadoes in LA. What's next? I'll tell you, the zombies are next, man.
Mm-hmm.
Zombies are next, or the meteor, one of the two.
You hear about that Southwest pilot that just collapsed mid-flight from Vegas?
Okay. Is there something else?
You saying zombie apocalypse? I don't know, man.
Oh, things happen. Bus drivers have heart attacks. People on a plane. They always have two pilots, so there's a reason there's two pilots. It's because at some point, you have
Somebody
thousands
gonna
of,
die mid-flight.
you got thousands of pilots in the air at one time. It's
Someone's bound to die, right?
yeah, someone's gonna have a heart attack or something during a flight.
All right. Let's get into the markets, Robin.
I was waiting for some conspiracy theory, like,
Yeah.
well, you know,
mean, I have
he got
one,
his
but-
booster
Communist
shot last
Canada.
week, so
I have one, but I'm not going to share. All right. Let's get into the markets. Robin, are you capable?
Nope.
Okay, then I will go ahead. All right. Let's take a look at where is crypto and where are we going crypto. So let me go ahead and refresh this. Bitcoin. Well, first, let's take a look. So market cap, $1.186 trillion. Down from, we saw 1.22 over the weekend, I believe, or a few days ago. Volume coming in at 71.4 billion. Bitcoin dominance came down from 46.6 to 46.1%. And ETH dominance still over 18.8, closing in to 19%. Obviously, today was a big day. Arbitrum had their token their token airdrop. We're going to cover that in a second. But first, take a look at Bitcoin. $28,326, down 0.5% over the last hour, up 15% over the last week. ETH over $1,800, more specifically $1,831, flat up 2.67% in the last 24 hours. Look at Tether's market cap, dude. $78 billion. That's not an all-time high, but it's damn close. And if you take a look at USDC's market cap, has shrunk significantly. USDC's market cap was over $50 billion and Tether's was around 65 billion. After the debacle with Silicon Valley Bank, a lot of money flowed out of USDC and went into Tether. And so we thought that gap was closing. But I don't know, Robin. You think Tether will remain king? Or you think USDC's got a chance to start closing that gap again?
not for some time. I don't know, man. I think the regulation here in the States, obviously USDC Circle, it is predominantly a US based company. Operations are here. US based exchange provides liquidity. So much FUD with the US, with the regulators, with stable coins, with Bitcoin, everything. Everything is under the microscope now from regulators here in the States. And it being home based here in the States, I think a lot of people are going to stay away just out of uncertainty when it comes to regulation. So for that reason, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but definitely not going to have the market adoption it had a couple months ago. I think the narrative has changed. And it was only, was it 2 weeks ago, that Circle lost its peg and was down to, was it 90, 80 something,
88 cents.
88 cents.
People made a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
So
So
spread. I mean, here's the thing. I was not worried because we know what the catalyst was, and it wasn't their fault. It was not like they did anything wrong. They just had money there. They couldn't access that money, and so that's why it depegged, and it came right back as soon as Monday morning opened up, and everything was fine. So, but it's intriguing to me that Tether went from they're a shady company, and now everyone's flooding to Tether. This thing, in my opinion, gets to 100 billion market cap, and apparently they've shored up their balance sheet as far as what is backing their USDT, their Tether, and apparently now 70% of it is in highly liquid quality assets, HLQAs, mostly U.S. Treasury securities. Back to the chart. So we talked about XRP when it pumped 20-something% up to 48 cents. We showed a chart, not a lot of volume, and of course it came back down, but to be fair, everything drew down, but XRP coming in at 44.6 cents. ADA, 37 cents. I saw some, and it's not confirmed, but I heard some rumors that they're firing up Hydra. If you're not familiar with Hydra, it is essentially an infinite scaling solution for Cardano. Every stake pool essentially will have the ability to process 1,000 transactions per second. So if you do the math, there's roughly 3,000 stake pools. In total, we're talking 3 million transactions per second, potentially. So what does that mean? We'll see when it comes out. But Doge, 77 cents. And rounding out the top 10 is, we got a new one in the top 10. Solana's back in the top 10. So Polygon at $1.14. They did have a massive partnership announcement with IMX. It's a big, looks like Polygon is kind of, I don't want to say going all in, but they're really focusing on the gaming side of it. And we know the gaming industry is huge. It's projected to grow by over, I think the number was about over 200% over the next 3 to 5 years. And so we have people from the traditional gaming industry, like one perfect example is Trip Hawkins, the co-founder of Electronic Arts. He started his own Web3 blockchain gaming company. It's called, they have a token called GFAL. And so we're seeing more of this. We're seeing integration, partnerships. So, Rob, do you think it's a possibility that Web3 gaming can push the next? Nope. Why not?
Okay. When you always talk about gaming is so big, it has this amount of money, it's all condensed within 5 to 10 games, right? Market shares, the smaller games have very little contribution to the overall liquidity or market cap, I guess. Not really the terms for gaming, but the amount of generated revenue across all the video games is condensed amongst some of the top titles. None of these titles have Web3 in them. None of them are building out Web3. None of them have Web3 on the horizon. None of them. And so until there is integration there, but here's the thing, even when Fortnite, the Call of Duty, these giant franchises, even if they were to get into crypto, they're not going to facilitate Web3. All they're going to do is buy and sell their NFT assets. They're not going to be built on a website. They're not going to be built on a launcher. Most of their money comes generated from console and PCs. And there is a smaller fraction of the PC gaming versus the console gaming. And so until the games are built from the ground up with Web3 and they have just as much flair as the big AAA ones that have no exposure to crypto, it's not going to, there's no way. There's no way. Remember, crypto is a finance. It's like, it would be like, hey,
Eric Gelsler's listening. Just be careful,
honestly,
man.
like it would be like, hey, is GameStop stock gonna rally the S&P 500? Like, no, it's such a small sector of the overall economy.
Bro, what is wrong with you?
Gaming is such a small sector of what crypto is gonna be and what crypto is now. There's zero chance that gaming is gonna catapult.
Zero chance. So says the guy who tells me all the time, never say zero.
I'm saying that for crypto, tell me one game that people are actively playing in crypto.
Spider Tank.
Do you know how big?
I don't know the answer.
Well, I'm just saying. So yeah, no.
I'm not a gamer.
Honestly, that is one of the biggest titles in Web3. It really is.
I know Illuvium's pretty popular. Right?
Yeah, I think Spider Tanks has like 1,000 people or 1,000 active players like every day. Or
that's more than Fortnite.
One thing. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
And so
okay. What?
So you have a market cap of trillions of dollars, right?
Are we talking like
right now we're over 1 trillion. I'm talking about for overall crypto.
Okay.
And then you have 1,000 players playing the big game, Spider Tanks on Gala. You have.
What is this dead drop I'm hearing? Dead drop from Dr. Disrespect.
That
dude's funny.
Yeah, you know what?
I watched some of his YouTube shorts. Dude is funny. He's very likable. I liked him. He's funny guy.
He puts on a full production.
He's hilarious. Anyways, so what? Okay, let me ask you this question then. What needs to happen? Do we need to see?
You're. I'm telling you, it's like saying, hey, Uber is gonna be the most profitable. Uber is what's gonna catapult Apple into the next fucking to 2x their stock. Like, it's a powerful app. It's a big sector. Like these services. Yeah, but gaming, it can be a powerful. You can make money off of gaming, but it's always gonna be a fraction of what we have. It's always like there's no way it ever becomes dominant. Crypto was not built. Satoshi did not write the white paper so they can facilitate peer-to-peer NFT transactions for video games. Like, it was to facilitate payments and finance.
And now people
that's what crypto is used for.
And now Bitcoin is used to as a store of value, which is not what Satoshi said, right? Guys,
it's still in the finance space. It still gives people the opportunity to
gaming
move money.
meets finance, so welcome.
Gaming, how have we been doing this show and you think that gaming, you don't know anything about gaming? I am into gaming. Have you ever seen me talk about a crypto gaming? Like, I love gaming. If they had a good game, I'd play it, but there's no good games. So if there's 0 good games, then on top of that, we're talking about finance, and the number one thing that crypto does well is finance. That's why it was built. And then you got some nerds that are like, hey, blockchain will make this better. And it's never gonna amount to a big piece of the pie.
Guys, I see a lot of people in the chat here. Do you guys agree with Robin that there's no way that the gaming will spark the next bull run? Or do you disagree with Robin? So put a 1 if you agree with Robin. Put a 2 if you disagree. You think gaming can spark the next bull run? So I'm curious to get everyone's opinion.
Let me ask you something. Do you think the next iPhone can spark the next economic rally, like get us out of the bear market, like the whole GDP will go up?
The next iPhone?
Yeah. I'm just saying that
I don't think
like
that's
the S&P will break new all-time highs and NASDAQ will rise.
That's not a fair comparison, Robin.
It is. That's where I'm trying to get you to think about. I'm trying to say that the overall market is so large in the stock market and the U.S. economy, and the iPhone is arguably the biggest piece of technology that we all use.
Correct.
And it's not going to move the market. It's not going to push us out of a bear market. I mean, sure, you might get the new iPhone, might have some record-breaking profits for Apple. That could pump up the NASDAQ. It's not going to put us into a bull market rally. We might have some new game come out in Web3 and it might have big adoption. We might get a big rally in the Gala token and maybe in the gaming tokens, and maybe Bitcoin gets a 2% bump up because of all the money entering into the system. But it'll never move the needle as far as the whole market. It's like, it's too small of a sector. And it'll always be a small sector because as that sector grows, the bigger sector grows. So as the iPhone and Apple grows, so does the entire US economy and all of the parts that are used to order for the phone and all of the trade agreements and all of the logistics that it takes to get that into the person's pocket. Anyways, let's give a little shout out to the chat here. If you're new, say hello so that way we can drop an hola back at you.
Looks like the 1s and 2s are split, by the way.
What was the 1?
1, they agree with you. 2, they disagree with you.
A lot of 1s.
A lot of 2s too. Anyways, go ahead.
A lot of 1s. So hit the like button, first of all, before I do anything. And then second of all, as I said, if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got Crypto on the Run, Tony C, Numo Reyes, RPM, FZ Hardocker. We got True Love. Is it my true love?
Is my true love back?
Or is it your true love? He's back.
It's our true love.
Our true love. And then we got Crypto Outlaw, Paul Wu, Dennis Knowledge, John's Learning. We also got V Slim. Cush's My Cologne is back. And we got Ann and Kyle Wilson. And then also Ivalov have been here. And Skeezy as well. Rob S. Crypto X Gamer. It's funny. Gamer put a 1 because he's also on the same page. He knows what's up.
Interesting.
And then we got Crypto Chris as well. And then SB Olive up in here.
Guys, there's 220 of you in here. And there's only 85 likes. Help us out here.
Hold on. Public service announcement. You watching this, have you hit the like button? If you've hit the like button, put an Ola in the chat.
Can we?
I better see 200 Olas and
Rob,
200 likes. I'm putting the first Ola in here.
I have a request.
For
you know that ASPCA song?
ASPCA?
ASPCA, the animal shelter, something, where they like have these sad commercials with the sound in the background, adopt the animals. Can we have that music overlaid?
No,
when
man,
we do
I don't
our
need
public
that. I don't need that negativity in my life, man. Have you ever enjoyed watching those? Or the sad puppy that's all like,
Dude,
no.
you know how many times I've watched
I
that
don't
and
need that
donated money?
negative. You know what we need? We need like
You're heartless, bro.
we need like some of
sense,
those
you're a
like
lizard.
basketball cheerleaders like doing the little cheer where they like create like little things
right.
when they move together. And
Okay,
then
this
the,
is getting
the
out of hand
bands
here.
on the
Okay,
field.
all
And,
right.
you know,
Guys,
we need the hype. Bro.
Guys, we're moving forward.
David wants to put for our show. He wants to put sad puppy music on here. Like, get out of here, man.
Listen. We're going to talk about, here's what we're going to talk about, all right? We're talking about Kwon got arrested.
We're talking crypto?
Yes, we're about to get into crypto. Kwon got arrested. We got Coinbase Wells notice and what that means. They were selling their stock off. A lot of people were freaking out yesterday. Now we probably can understand why they did that.
They got to pay them lawyers.
And we also have the economic outlook broken down by the White House. Let's not waste time and let's start with the most wanted fugitive in the entire world, Kwon, I believe that's his full name, reportedly arrested in Podgorica, Montenegro.
Can we get the, you know what, Rocco? We do need the locked up bar sound. You know when they close the bars at the prison? You know, like that. We need to get that sound, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm working on it.
I'm getting inside reports that Coinbase might be watching our live right now. Who knows? One of the world's Coinbase, if you're watching, we got your back. Don't worry. We're going to help you fight the SEC.
Is Coinbase watching?
I'm getting inside info. That's all I know, man. One of the world's most wanted fugitives was arrested in Montenegro. The police have detained a person suspected of being one of the most wanted fugitives, South Korean citizen Kwon, who's the co-founder of Terraform Labs, former cryptocurrency king, who is behind losses of more than $40 million, was detained at the airport with falsified documents. And South Korea, the US, and Singapore are demanding the same. So this was tweeted out by Bankless. I saw a rumor, which I, of course, found out it was funny, but it was a joke, that Kwon was trying to claim his Arbitrum airdrop, and they found his IP address that way. And of course, look at this, Robin. Jail Kwon token up 120%. This is why people laugh at our space. This is why, guys. A freaking jail Kwon token. Please, for the love of God. I don't care if this thing goes up 600%. If the liquidity is not in there, if the freaking tokens on the other end are not in the contract, that does not matter. Whatever money you see on there doesn't mean that's what you're gonna get. Does that mean that's what you're gonna get?
So dude's locked up? They got his ass?
They got him. They
Is
got
there
him.
any pictures? There's no pictures, huh?
No. Well, I mean, I'm sure there are probably not, but I
let me
just
see if
haven't
I
looked.
can't pull something up. No, go
All
ahead.
right. Robin, go pull something up. I want to talk real quick about, let's move on from Kwon to Justin Sun, okay? So Tron founder Justin Sun sued by U.S. SEC on securities market manipulation charges. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, we're just going to call them the Grim Reapers of freaking crypto, because all they try to do is just kill our industry, but they won't. They won't. They sued Justin Sun Wednesday on allegations of selling and airdropping unregistered securities, fraud, and market manipulation. Robin, let me ask you, this question just came to me right now. Let me get your opinion on this. We saw Optimism airdrop governance token, Arbitrum airdrop governance token. Is this what we're going to see because projects don't want to deal with what companies like Tron are dealing with?
So I haven't dug into this lawsuit. So he's getting sued for
Market manipulation, unregistered securities.
yeah, but I'm saying is it in regards to how he released his token? That's where
No.
I'm getting at versus an airdrop.
I think the big thing is watch trading.
you know Hex is trying to famously do the airdrop where you sacrifice your Ethereum to a Ethereum wallet address that nobody has access to. And
Well, Richard has access to it.
Oh well, he says he doesn't.
Anyways, we're not going to get into that.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, here's the thing. There's so much uncertainty, so much clarity, and that's why Coinbase is in the situation right now, right? If they would just have clear guidelines, like, hey, If you would like to be a crypto exchange here in the U.S., please submit the
This is what you need to
application
do.
and do this. Follow step A, B, C. Don't do step E, F, and G if you want to stay compliant. And then there's none of that. And they had to go to the SEC in some capacity.
Oh, wait.
to-
I have the entire thing pulled up. We're gonna go over that in a minute here. It literally, Brian Armstrong, whoever wrote that, they went one by one what they exactly did, what the SEC did and didn't do, and it's an absolute shame that you treat a publicly traded American company like I don't even know the correct analogy to use, but it's messed up, dude. It's completely messed up. You say you're for consumer protection. People are going to find a way to buy crypto anyways. You got a company who is willing and capable and able and wants to speak to you, wants to understand how to do it the right way. For God's sake, if they didn't, they wouldn't have gone public. And by the way, the SEC had to sign off on them going public.
Okay, here's the thing. Tron is based in Singapore, right?
No idea.
Anyways, Asia.
They're not a U.S. domiciled.
No, yeah, exactly.
Tron Foundation isn't.
They don't have any services offered here in the States.
It's just their token trades on U.S. based exchanges.
Yeah, but they didn't set up offices here in the U.S.
No,
they
they did not.
didn't market it here in the
So,
U.S.
but here's the thing.
and so U.S. based exchanges.
We need a lawyer on the show. We need to bring a lawyer because I want to know, like, what authority does the SEC or U.S. have? Oh, here we go. Thank you, Rocco. Tron has offices. Oh, San Francisco.
Oh, they do have offices in
Damn.
San Francisco. Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah, we pulled up some info. So
Yeah.
Tron does have a San Francisco office.
Okay, then.
So, but here, even with that said, they are based in
Singapore.
You can have, in the same way that Walmart, or here's a good example. In China, there's Costco's there. It's still a U.S. based company. It's if they decide to change around some of the board members or sell some stocks, do they have to be Chinese compliant?
Right.
No. And the thing is, if you're a company and you operate overseas and you have your product available globally, you don't need to follow all the rules. Well, the SEC doesn't agree with that, but
Of course they don't. They can't even agree amongst each other.
I don't like Justice Sun, but at the same time, dude didn't really cross any boundaries here.
I mean,
On
well,
this,
here's what the lawsuit claims.
What do they claim?
Defendants fraudulently manipulated Tron's secondary market through an extensive wash trading scheme. Sun
Probably did.
tried to but I bet she's not the only one though.
Yeah.
You know, Justin Sun tried to artificially inflate Tron's trading volume through the wash trading scheme alleged by the SEC by having his own employees engage in more than 600,000 wash trades of TRX token between two crypto asset trading platform accounts that he controlled. Gotta assume it's Huobi and Poloniex. That's what I would assume because he has his hand in both of those. Now, here's something else. There are 8 celebrities and influencers who are being charged in promoting the TRX token. Sun allegedly induced investors to purchase TRX and BTT tokens by orchestrating a promotional campaign ad in which he and celebrity promoters hid the fact that the celebrities were paid for their tweet. Some of these include Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul.
You leave Lindsay Lohan out of this.
Oh, now we know Soulja Boy's real name, DeAndre Cortez.
You leave Lindsay Lohan out of this.
Soulja Boy tongue. Yeah.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
Rocco, let's go back.
Hey, I guess I didn't do it.
Yeah, I did it.
Oh, you did it? Okay. Robin,
No, but there is a new.
There it is.
Okay, there is a new token just came
I just
out.
have an extremely long delay on my.
what's the new token?
Look at this.
It's the Justin Sun
Yes,
jail-free
yes.
token.
They're Justice on what token?
Now, do
Jail-free
you
token.
think she's wearing red here to support Tron? Because it's the same color
Bro,
as
stop
Tron.
it.
I'm just saying,
Man, come on,
Yeah,
man.
it's
She's
possible.
got the
She's
focus.
She's got the Tron outfit on. She kind of, Tron is red and white.
Yeah, okay.
She's wearing. Maybe
That's
she's
fair.
advertising.
Can we go back to what Soulja Boy's real name is, please?
What is Soulja Boy's real name? Sorry, I got
DeAndre
so distracted.
Cortez.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Not
Anyways,
surprised to see Jake Paul on there.
also Austin Mahone, Michelle Mason, musician Miles Park McCollum, also known as Lil Yachty. Damn, so we getting docs here. And Neo's name is Schaefer. Guys, where else are you gonna get this kind of alpha, man? We told you Soldier Boy's real name, Lil Yachty, and Neo. Oh, and Akon. Akon is Ali Wayne.
And my name is
Hey,
actually
Ali.
not Big Rob.
It's Peter. Like Peter Schiff. So this is, and of course, Jake Paul. And so this is kind of where I want to take this conversation. So French lawmakers propose ban on crypto influencer promotions. Now, this is a sticky subject in our industry, us being content creators on YouTube, and we'll get to that in a second. French lawmakers have proposed a ban on the promotion of certain financial products and services by electronic means, including crypto assets. The proposal, reviewed by the Economic Affairs Committee, targets commercial influencers who promote financial products and services that present a risk to consumers, such as investments in digital assets or fungible and non-fungible intangible property. If passed into law, only operators with approval from the thing there will be allowed to advertise crypto assets. Now, Robin, we've seen YouTubers get sued for promoting a token or promoting an exchange or promoting something, and it goes under. What are your, our industry, right? We've never done a paid video for a project or NFT project or token.
We're trying to keep it out of the crypto space so we don't have influence. We'll see how far we can go.
But what are your thoughts on this just as a whole? Do you think this would, do you think this is good or do you think this is bad? You think people should be able to promote whatever they want and it's up to the consumer?
So crypto influencers. So what happens when you just get a celebrity that just advertises? What happens when somebody buys a billboard? What happens when somebody puts an ad on a website? Like, you can't. Here's the thing: if you're gonna ban promotions, just ban it across the board. I mean, we see it here in the States with cigarettes, so you can't advertise. Right? There's no when I grew up, there used to be billboards and magazine ads and commercials. And then they just had a blanket ban on it. And so if you're going to say, hey, you can't promote crypto, then, hey, man, go across the board. If you're set on banning crypto, but don't say, hey, this particular person can't promote crypto, but this particular person can. And that's the only thing I would like to see. If that's your narrative, because I think there is exposure to risk by letting by content creators talking about projects. It puts them in a position where if the project doesn't become successful and it has a downturn for whatever reason, a rug pull or goes under, whatever the case may be, if something were to happen with said project, people lose money. And you know what? Sometimes people they listen to their favorite creators regardless of disclosures or whatever it is. So I'm not saying it's not the worst thing in the world. So I could see where they're coming from. I don't agree with it. I'll say that. I don't agree with it. I think that you should let a free market decide how it is. And if you want to advertise, sure. And if you want to destroy your reputation by promoting scams, you're going to be dealing with that for the rest of your career, right? You're always going to have that hanging over your head. And so I think that's how it should regulate itself. Let the people get pissed off if you fraud people, or not fraud people, but lead people astray into bad projects. And then that's my opinion, but I could see it. It does cause problems. But if you're gonna have a ban on marketing, just go all the way across the board.
Which we might see. Scary, but we might. All right, guys. Before we talk about Coinbase, we did do a poll. Will Coinbase fight the lawsuit? Because a Wells notice essentially is like, hey, we're about to sue you. Or will they settle? Cast your vote. We're going to get into what's going on with Coinbase. So without further ado, we had breaking news yesterday that Coinbase was served a Wells notice. And Coinbase posted this on their website, their Coinbase.com.
Wells will.
What? All's Wells that doesn't end well.
Also, we're at 275 viewers. When we get to 300, we will open up this damn club.
Bow, bow, bow. All right. I'm going to do the TLDR, and then I'm going to read one segment of this, and it should irritate you as much as it irritates me, but maybe not because we're so used to Gary Gensler and his stupid antics. So it reads, we asked the SEC for reasonable crypto rules for Americans. We got legal threats instead. TLDR. Today, the SEC gave Coinbase a Wells notice regarding an undefined portion of our listed digital assets. our staking service, Coinbase Prime, and Coinbase Wallet after a cursory investigation. We are prepared for this disappointing development. We are confident in the legality of our assets and services, and if needed, we welcome a legal process to provide the clarity we have been advocating for and to demonstrate that the SEC simply has not been fair or reasonable when it comes to its engagement on digital assets. I would like to note as well, Supreme Court, for the first time ever, heard a crypto case a couple days ago. And guess who the company was? It was Coinbase.
Hey, man, we buy... Coinbase just said, bro, you want to fight? We going to bring it. Let's go. We going to do this.
Yeah, the Thor hammer. So I want to go down. And by the way, guys, if you want to read this thing in its entirety, just go to Coinbase.com. There's a blog area and you can click it. It's the very first one pinned to the top. So here's what I want to read. And in a separate one line says the SEC will not let crypto companies, quote, come in and register. We tried. The Wells notice comes out and so here is them explaining what happened. The Wells notice comes out of the investigation that we disclosed last summer. Shortly after that investigation began, the SEC asked us if we would be interested in discussing a potential resolution that would include registering some portion of our business with the SEC. We said absolutely yes. Specifically, the SEC asked us to provide our views on what a registration path for Coinbase could look like, because there is no existing way for a crypto exchange to register. So the SEC is asking Coinbase, what do you think this looks like? We developed and proposed 2 different registration models. We spent millions of dollars on legal support to build these proposals and repeatedly asked for the SEC's feedback. We got none. We also reiterated that we stand by our listings process. We don't list securities today and repeatedly invited the SEC to raise any questions about any asset at all on our platform, and they raised none. We met with the SEC more than 30 times over 9 months, but we were doing all the talking. In December 2022, we asked the SEC again for some feedback on our proposals. The SEC staff agreed to provide feedback in January of 2023. And in January, the day before our scheduled meeting, the SEC canceled on us and told us they would be shifting back to an enforcement investigation. We now understand that there is disagreement within the commission itself on how to proceed with a registration path. This was just 2 months ago. 2 months ago. So, Robin, share your...
All right, what you have here is...
some bullshit.
Okay, this is what's happening. Yeah, it's exactly that. A couple things are happening. One, you have business practices, banking practices, the monetary structure, the trading markets having extreme volatility, potential for banking collapse, and the regulators that are supposed to oversee this can't fix the system, right? You can't fix fractionalized banking. You can't undo what has already been built, right? And so these guys have a job to do. And so they go to work and they say, what did you accomplish? Mr. Senator, what are you guys actively doing to protect the American citizen? And so their answer is, we're cracking down on crypto. This is the poison. This is what's going on. People are losing money. This is the problem with the monetary system that we have. And so, boom, they are just trying to act like they're doing something by, instead of fixing the problem at hand, instead of fixing the banking issues, instead of trying to address what the real problem is, they're trying to say, hey, don't look at this. Don't look at this house on fire, but look at this bush that could catch fire. The bush isn't on fire. The bush is fine. The house is on fire. And yet you're over here putting, anti-burn chemicals on that thing. I'm just saying, man, it makes no sense. They are going after crypto because they can't regulate their own financial products. And I know the SEC doesn't regulate banks, but they are one arm, they're one voice, and there's There's arguing amongst their own committee members. We see it with crypto mom. What's her name?
Hester Pierce.
Hester Pierce. And so there's people are taking different sides inside of their own branch of government. There's no clarity. And here's the problem. If they had clarity, if they made things transparent and clear, companies would come in, they would follow the rules, and then they couldn't sue anybody. And so if they leave the rules murky, if they don't give any guideline, they don't give any playbook, and they know that they can randomly sue people at their leisure.
100%.
And so if they had the playbook and people followed it, then they would have no grounds to sue them. And as crazy as that sounds,
It's not crazy.
It's what is
It's
happening.
not. It's literally what's happening. You hit the nail right on the head. If there is clear regulation and you say, if the token has had this, or it's this, it's a security, every single exchange in America would delist those tokens and list other tokens. But what would that mean? That mean the SEC just can't go rogue and sue people, because how many people have the money that Ripple has? How many people have the money that Coinbase has? Or how many people have the money to even want to go to court with the SEC?
I don't want to see it, but I think it's necessary
What?
that we have a full-on freaking court case with
Oh,
Coinbase
it's happening.
versus the SEC.
Oh, 100%.
The thing is, we don't need it. I'll just say that we don't need it in the short term. It's gonna suck. It's gonna set our industry back. Exchanges overseas are gonna prosper. They're gonna make room. We're gonna stifle innovation. But I feel like without a court case between Coinbase and the SEC, without it, we're gonna get another 3 or 4 or 5 years of exactly what we have now, which is zero progress on regulating our own industry. I want to know something from the chat here. I got a question for you. If there was a lawsuit, which it seems like this is the inevitability, let's just say there's a court case, Coinbase versus SEC, who wins this thing? Who wins it? Rocco, pin that in the chat. 1, if you think SEC would win the way that they have against the smaller players, or put a 2 in the chat. You think this thing goes head to head and Coinbase comes out on top? Because I'm leaning 2 on this, man. You can make an argument that the XRP and Ripple case, you can make an argument that the SEC has a leg up because it seems to be a little bit.
They're the SEC.
You know what, the
They're a
SEC,
freaking
yeah,
government
it is the SEC.
regulatory
But
body.
however, with the SEC and the Ripple case, you could make a comparison to the sale of, by an IPO and an ICO. There are comparisons there. However, obviously I don't agree with that premise, but I'm just saying you could draw more comparisons to an IPO. The same thing is like when you list a company to go public. But what we have here with Coinbase, it is so obviously operating within the bounds of a legit company offering legit services in a framework that was provided by the SEC. When they set it up with the SEC, they became publicly traded.
That's the thing. They file with the SEC every quarter.
What has changed? What has changed? That's what I'm saying. Nothing realistically has changed. And so it would have to be a surefire win. The only downside is that a court case would probably take 3-4 years. And I don't want that, man.
It's a joke.
I don't want that, dude.
And
are we talking about the what they sent to the president?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Good God, bro.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to get better. Don't worry, guys.
Bro.
You think the show's good, it's going to get better.
Bro.
I'm wearing blue today to support Coinbase. And you should too, because we're getting to a point where if people keep settling, Kraken settled, this company settled, this one settled. We're going to get to the point where they're going to have their way. We can't let that happen. Like, we got to come together as a community, as a crypto community, even the Bitcoin maxis, even the XRP maxis, even the Cardano maxis. You hate each other. Can we just come together for just a quick second and show them that you can't just dick us around however you want. You can't just go rogue and start trying to put companies out of business, shutting off our freaking pipeline in the banks, shutting off our funding via Silicon Valley Bank, not letting companies get into crypto. Like, we cannot let this happen. And I keep hearing the noise that Coinbase executive sold their shares. It happens all the time. You can go on FinViz, and I'm going to show you here. This is Coinbase's stock, and you can see here exactly Brian Armstrong, Paul Grewal, Jennifer Jones, and Lawrence Brock. They all sold some shares of Coinbase. 1.9 million, 1.7 million, 2.1 million.
Not a lot.
Everyone does it. And guess
Didn't
what?
they
Hold on, Robin. Let me make my point. Is it a coincidence that they get served a well notice and they sell off their stock? Okay. Is it maybe they're going to use that money? Who else sold a shitload of their stock? Let's take a look here. You guys ever heard of Elon Musk? You ever heard of Elon Musk? You want to know how much money he sold in Tesla? You want to see? Here, let's take a look how much money Elon Musk sold in Tesla. $1 billion, $2 billion, $540 million. And why did he say he was selling it? Because he needed cash for his other company. So, I don't want to hear the whole, oh, Coinbase is jumping ship. They're not jumping ship. This is A, it's common practice. B, it makes sense with the timing of the Wells notice. If they're planning on fighting them in court, it's going to be long and very, very expensive. So,
Also,
I want to
here's
just
the
add
thing.
something.
That's natural movement. Also, back in 2021, not too long after they listed, actually, I think it was 2022. Anyways, they bought back a ton of their stock. It's what companies do, when the stock price is low or whatever it is, you have extra capital, you don't have anywhere to invest it, you buy back your stock. You need to generate liquidity or generate money, especially for a legal battle. Hey, man, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna sell your Bitcoin?
If you're in
serious, honestly, if you're Coinbase, you're putting together your lawyer team. What do you sell? How do you generate revenue? You gotta sell stock or you gotta sell assets. Their assets happen to be crypto. Would you rather have Coinbase sell their Bitcoin for their lawyer team, or would you rather them sell their stock? I'm just curious.
So you don't think it's oh, Coinbase is just, they're trying to get ahead of the market?
It's their natural. It's what happens naturally with companies. Now, the reason a lot of times this gets negative press is that if somebody sells and then the company were to go under, they always question the sale if they were privy to information that the public wasn't.
If Coinbase
Coinbase ain't going anywhere.
Well, if Coinbase, if in 1 week or 2 weeks Coinbase halts withdrawals, sure, I'll come back on the show. I'll say I was wrong. Coinbase did the wrong thing.
But you can also call into question if they knew that the Wells notice and the lawsuit was going to drive down their stock price, so they're trying to sell before. That is illegal. But I don't think that's the premise behind them selling. I think it's simply to generate capital for a long, drug out legal battle.
Now, if they don't go to court battle and they settle, I mean, either way, A, it's common practice. B, I don't think Coinbase is going anywhere. I think they're going to fight the SEC. And here's what we need to do. If we're serious about crypto, changing the financial institutions, seeing what's happening to banks and providing an alternative, or as Charles Hoskinson said in the video he did 3 days ago, which was amazing, you guys should go watch it, the ability to opt out. If we don't preserve crypto, and I know it's just here in America, but let me tell you, man, America is an important country because a lot of other countries follow what America does. So if we don't stick together and put our stupid ass differences aside and come together and show support and really, we're in the they fight you stage. And if we don't come together and fight back, we have no chance. We have no chance. They're just going to walk all over us. They're going to walk all over our crypto. They're going to introduce the CBDC. They're going to come. And Robin says, no, we can opt out. But hey, man, someone shared on Twitter after the gold thing. They told everyone, you got to turn your gold in. What happens if they tell us we're coming for your crypto? We're coming for the Bitcoin you hold. I'm not saying that's what I believe.
Oh, my narrative.
It's not a zero possibility.
My narrative when it comes to and I never claimed it was. Yeah, my narrative when it comes to the CBDCs is that you're always gonna have an out, because I don't think they're gonna ban crypto, especially they're not gonna ban Bitcoin. I mean, even the likes of Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen said that crypto's here to stay, and it ain't going nowhere, and they're not looking to ban it. And these are heads of the Treasury and the head of the Fed. They've both acknowledged that Bitcoin is here to stay. Now, outside of that, that's a different story. But so crypto ain't going nowhere. We just got to figure out how to let it operate in the US, because it's literally one branch of government, bro. Right?
It's this administration hates crypto, bro, and everyone they put in place.
I think it's back to where I was saying earlier. The failures of the bank, the failures of the economy, the money printing, the inflation, they're trying to point blame, and they don't want to blame themselves.
Of course
they don't want to blame the system that we have.
Why would they want to? Crypto's down. We have all these scammers come out, and hey, look, they're down. People like they're scams. We can just blame it on them. Instead of saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't have dropped the reserve rate to zero. Maybe we shouldn't have made people buy these long-term bonds.
The funny thing is that if Coinbase didn't have, close to 100% of the assets of the users, even 80%, if they didn't have those on hand or able to convert into liquidity pretty quickly, they would be shut down and thrown in prison for the same thing that Sam Bankman-Fried did. But this at the same time is how the banking system works. I can take my $1,000, I can deposit it in the bank. You can take all of it, reinvest it into speculative treasury bonds that lock it up for 10 years. And then when I need my money, you're like, hey, sorry, we don't have it. And
my bad, dude.
Yeah, my bad, dude.
Yeah. I want to highlight Eric Ward's statement. He said, they want to stop the yield. I make more money on USDC than I do in the bank. I think that's an important point. Because if they legalize it and they legalize staking and yield, who the hell is going to leave their money in their bank account earning nothing? And guess who that harms? The banks. And guess who spends money lobbying the governors?
We're banking
is the banks.
We're getting to an inflection point right now where the banks are realizing that, hey, this no longer is a handful of Generation Z people over here throwing some money at Bitcoin, mining, sending, buying a pizza with some. There's legitimately seeing millions and billions of dollars leave their banks and go to a foreign system that is not controlled by them, and they don't profit off of it. They're seeing savings accounts and checking accounts balances come in lower because people are leaving and going to crypto. And the scary thing is that it's a small percentage. You can go around, you can talk to your friends at work, and a lot of people don't have money in crypto. So if they're fearful now, imagine 5 years or 10 years from now, when instead of 0.5% of people having their savings account on a crypto platform, it's 10%, 20%, 40%. Imagine that situation. And I think the banks know this is coming, and they're freaking out, man. They are freaking
100% they're freaking out. And the government's freaking out as well. And we're going to get into that here in a second.
Real quick, let me give a little shout out to the chat. If you're new here, say hello so I can drop an hola back at you. And to some of the new people, we have Mazur, we got Joanna, also Morton, Caesarea, Lord Dill, Speeders, Aaron Inabs, Anders, ERRZH, Mike Volmer. And then also we have Will with 1L. So to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Welcome. Before I get into the thing, I want to Dennis J highlight that. Yeah, Twitter is showing pictures of banks stopping transfers of crypto. Okay, this is true. I've heard stories from people who've had their banks completely shut down. And so here's my piece of advice to you guys, okay? Have multiple bank accounts, okay? So I have my main bank account that I pay my bills in. I have another bank account at a small credit union, and I never keep more than $250K in any of them. I don't even have $250K to put in them, but there we go. Because all my money's in crypto. But what I do is, so Bank of America is where I pay my bills. No crypto activity goes in or out of that bank account. Zero. Because if they decide we're going to shut it off or hey, we're not allowed to, they close my account or they pause it or whatever, I don't want to have to deal with that. I have a separate account that is crypto coming in or money from crypto going in, money from crypto coming out. And that is one of my credit union accounts. I don't keep any substantial money in there. If I remove US dollars from an exchange to take profits, I immediately pull it out. And if I put money in, whatever amount of money I want to put on ramp to, let's say, Coinbase, I will keep just that amount. I'll on ramp it. And if I have to do it in smaller chunks, I will. So I recommend you guys do the same. Your main bank account that you pay your bills or you have your savings in, do not interact with anything crypto related. Okay? Because if they start shutting banks down and start closing your bank accounts, you don't want to have to deal with that nightmare. And so that is my piece of advice to you guys. And always have more than one bank account.
I just use whatever, man. My own I don't care.
We literally, there was someone in studio that told us they had a $500,000 Chase account that got shut down.
Yeah. But here's the thing, like I'm just gonna go to another bank if my thing is they're not gonna steal your money. Well,
it's not about stealing your money.
Might, I guess. Yeah.
But the guy was on vacation and had no access to his money for a week. Like you don't want to deal with that. So that's all I'm saying. I like to be proactive and think ahead. Maybe sometimes I overreact, but I'd rather be overly prepared than not prepared at all. All right, let's get into. Also, yeah, we had 2 super chats from Kazuma. Excuse me. If you can find the first one, Rocco, I'll highlight that. But this one, 10 euros. Money is assets which you can trade for more assets and use those assets to generate more assets and accumulate more assets. Fiat, stock, crypto, metal, all those assets generate more assets. A lot of assets.
Earlier, he was saying he strongly agrees that gaming and crypto will revolutionize the gaming industry. And he was talking about World of Warcraft and ETH.
Interesting. All right. So, you ready, Robin? Ready to see what our White House had to say about crypto?
Oh, I thought we were going to open up the club.
No, not yet.
Yeah, Rocco!
We got to let it build up, man.
Yeah, boy. We got over 300. We growing, man. We got 312 people in here. It's good to see that we had a nice little turnout without any guests. I mean, we like our guests, but, sometimes, we think, like, did you only come for the guests? Or did you come for Big Robin, Rocco? Boy, let's go, baby. Open up the club. We growing, man.
They call this the creepy food. Creeping in the club food. Guys, if you're wondering what the hell's going on, we like to have fun here. I know watching our dance moves might not be fun, but the music should be fun.
We started out as a small channel, so every time we hit new milestones and viewership, we like to celebrate, man.
With our community.
Yeah.
Because we love you guys. Bitcoin, baby. Right. You ready?
What?
Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-da-da. Digital assets relearning economic principles by the United States White House.gov. You can find it yourself. whitehouse.gov/WP/content/uploads. You get the point. We'll maybe throw it in the thing.
Just sound like a bot.
Very nice. All right. So I have a few things highlighted. Of course. You guys laughing? You right? Thank you. Very nice. All right, so let's go down. Oh, here we go. Indeed, crypto assets to date do not appear to offer investments with any fundamental value, nor do they act as an effective alternative to fiat money, improve financial inclusion, or make payments more efficient. Instead, their innovation has been mostly about creating artificial scarcity in order to support crypto assets prices, and many of them have no fundamental. So, no fundamental value.
Okay.
Does not improve financial inclusion. Does not make payments more efficient. Interesting.
Okay, so if I'm just curious.
Okay,
if I live in, let's just say, Uganda, Nigeria.
Don't bring Uganda into this.
Let's just say in a country that doesn't readily have banking services. Let's say that I also grew in an impoverished community where I did not have proper identification.
Yep.
So if I went down to the bank, I would easily be denied. Say,
Denied.
sorry, man, you need an ID, a birth certificate to have a bank account here, right?
True.
Now, if that same person, which is very common, that doesn't have an ID, also has a smartphone.
3 billion people, Robin.
Has a smartphone. And
3
of these 3
billion
of
people,
the 3 billion people that don't have bank accounts, how many of them do you think have a smartphone? And with a smartphone, you have access to the internet. With access to the internet, you have inclusion into a financial system called cryptocurrency.
Wow.
And so, what does it mean? Nor do they act as an effective alternative to fiat money. Improve financial inclusion. You can be included into the financial system even if you don't have identification, simply by having access to the internet. And you know what? You can have an alternate to fiat. I mean, you have to find somebody that accepts it. But if you find someone that accepts crypto, if you owe somebody money and you say, hey, I don't have a bank account, but I can send you some Bitcoin. If they agree to it, you just found an alternative to fiat money. Wow. But they said there's none.
Let me put it to you this way. You ever heard the saying, when your coach is hard on you and you're like, why are you hard on me, not the other ones? Because I expect more from you and I believe in you. I don't think these other kids can be as good as you are, so that's why I'm hard on you. Same thing. If the government and the SEC didn't believe that we were a direct threat to their BS on freaking whatever unstable foundation this financial system is on, if they weren't afraid, do you think they'd go out of their way to have an entire 100-page section or sue all these companies or fight us? No, they wouldn't.
Also, the next sentence, hold on, go back up. The next sentence says, so that was my scenario for somebody that does not live in the States, right? And you can argue there's people that aren't able to open up a bank account here in the States. You can go into credit standings, anyways. But here is another scenario. So it says on there, or make payments more efficient. It has not made payments more efficient.
It has not.
Now, I will say that my daughter lives overseas in Israel, and I frequently send cash or money, dollars, to her. And what is faster and more efficient? The wire transfer or money transfer, or me sending crypto? Because I'm going to tell you, the last X amount of times, the last 2 years, I've sent nothing but crypto over there. And it gets there in a matter of minutes, and it costs me a matter of pennies and cents versus $50. The last time I sent a wire transfer, I had to pay $50. She had to pay $50 to receive it. It took 3 to 5 days. And then she had to explain.
Business days, Robin.
She had to explain to the bank who I was, and she needed to provide my birth certificate to her bank. So that way, her daughter's birth certificate didn't match up the last names. And so it's easily contradicted what they put there. Like the negatives of crypto, I'm sorry. Like I feel like you should discuss the positives of crypto, and then there are negatives. You can say the centralized entities that run crypto are not regulated and they have routinely frauded their customers. Like I could, if I was writing this paper and you wanted me to throw some negatives in there, I could easily do it. I could easily say, there's the negatives of crypto. It's an emerging space. It lacks regulation. And here's the problems that it has. The problems they listed are not real problems. That's made up. And there are problems with crypto. It's not a perfect space by any means. But what they listed as the problems of crypto aren't problems. They're not. And this is handed to the president. So hopefully he has somebody else.
He didn't read that. Look, the guy can't even put 2 words together. You really think?
You can put 2 words
together.
together.
Like, Mr. President, this report says crypto is hurting the dollar. We should ban it. Okay, whatever you say.
Maybe.
That's literally. And here's a beautiful Venn diagram.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's that?
This is taxonomy of digital assets and central bank money. I'm not going to spend time on this. Here we go. The development of crypto assets and their underlying distributed ledger technology have the potential to transform industries and business models. Wow, you said something true and positive. We go down here. and we keep going, and because there's a lot of this, talks about Bitcoin having artificial scarcity was one important feature of Bitcoin.
Artificial scarcity?
The supply, and I'll read a little higher. I'll start reading here. The supply of Bitcoins is kept to ensure that each unit retains value, since digital assets otherwise could be reproduced perfectly forever and they would have no value if there were an unlimited supply. This artificial scarcity was one important feature of Bitcoin. So, what makes it artificial? What is artificial? It's fake, right?
Yeah.
Is the code that Bitcoin was written on and the 21 million tokens entrenched in, is that artificial?
Let me ask you
Is that
something.
fake?
What? It's real. It's real. It's real. Here, let me ask you something. Is the supply of money that's being printed at the rate that is being printed in the last 2 weeks, or you can go back the last 3 years or 20 years, is that artificial? That's real, right?
No, yeah, that's
That's
real.
actual inflation. That is
Real.
actual printing. That is what they're saying here. So let's replace Bitcoin with cash here on that sentence. The supply of cash is capped to ensure that it just makes sense, right? That it just makes no sense. Like you're like, no, there's no cap on cash. You can just keep printing, right? Otherwise would have produced perfectly forever. You know, it could be reproduced perfectly forever. So they're saying that you could perfectly reproduce it forever, in the same way that we perfectly reproduce cash forever. We can just print it out at any point in time. At least Congress, at least people in Congress, they have to ask to spend where they're going to spend the money. The Fed can just make more money. They don't even have to ask. They're just like, you know what? Print
Man, I
it.
feel like printing 100 billion today. Fuck it.
Print it.
But this is why it goes back to country like Salvador, where they decide, they say, you know what?
So the unique thing about El Salvador is that they were using the dollar. So their dollar was a currency. And it's no surprise.
US dollar.
Yeah, they're using the US dollar as a currency. And it's no surprise that once we printed as much money as we did in 2020, we inflated our money supply. They got none of the benefits. Those checks that came to the US, all that quantitative easing, all that money that just got injected into US based companies, all of that value stayed within the confines of the country. And then they exported the inflation, right? Remember, a lot with the US being the world reserve currency, the inflation goes out, right? And so they're literally exporting inflation. So that's why they can print so much and it doesn't impact at home quite as hard as another country having inflation, because we're exporting that inflation. And a lot of the benefits that we have from printing stays here. And then the negative, and then that's why we're seeing. And then you stack that on top of the sanctions, the uncertainty with the banking. And then you have what we have now, China and Russia just sat down. They had a meeting, and guess what? Russia's doing all of its trades with Asia, with Africa. Did they throw India in
Latin
there?
America.
Latin America, yeah, Latin America.
In the yuan.
In the yuan. Now they're saying, you know,
Also, petrodollar is going away as well. Saudi Arabia. Let me explain you how important the petrodollar is, okay? So the reason Saudi Arabia decided to go with the petrodollar is because Saudi Arabia and Iran were not getting along. And so the US hates Iran hates the US. So the US said, "We will protect you from Iran, but you got to buy all of our, you got to sell all of our oil in US dollars."
and here's the thing. Back before, keep this one last, and we'll get back to this article here in a second. But I just want
real quick, about the Saudi Arabia thing. Now, China just had Iran and Saudi Arabia sit down, and now there looks like there's peace. So
I will say that when we went on the world, or when the U.S. was the world reserve currency, we didn't have the internet, and so buy, selling, and trading and bartering was a little bit more difficult. Couldn't be done. You couldn't just transfer from one currency to another. Banks had to physically hold it. Companies had to hold dollars, or they had to hold a currency to buy and sell and trade. And then you'd have to write checks, and then you'd have to wait for these to process. And so it wasn't really realistic to have multiple currencies and trade, and it just didn't work that way. So it just made sense to have one agreed upon currency that you could all trade on. It made sense. We're not in that age anymore. And you know what? If you want to buy and sell, like if I want to go buy something overseas with a different currency, pretty quick for me to get in and out of the dollar into something else. It used to be you had to go down to the exchange, buy your dollars. Now you just walk over with a Visa card, you swipe, boom. On your end, it comes out in dollars. On their end, they get whatever other currency it is. And you think that those luxuries only apply to somebody traveling abroad? No, companies can do it as well too. Nation states are getting there. So no longer are we in the situation where, hey, if you want to have international commerce and trade, you have to hold dollars. We're not there anymore. And the people that are still there are getting pushed away by the government. And it's things like this that are expediting the whole service. It's the U.S. being so fearful of people getting out of the dollar that they're weaponizing it and they're attacking anything and everything that isn't the dollar, crypto included, sanctions and other economies.
This next part of the economic. By the way, if you're new here, please say hello.
So we're gonna drop an hola back at you.
Personally welcome you. So this next segment is called Crypto Assets Are Mostly Speculative Investment Vehicles. One reason many crypto assets are highly volatile is that many of them do not have fundamental value. For example, stocks are claims on the future profits of firms, and debt is a claim on interest and principal payments. Even commodities such as gold and silver have fundamental values because they can be used in jewelry and manufacturing.
Well,
conversely, unbacked crypto assets are traded without fundamental anchors, suggesting that their market prices only reflect speculative demand or market sentiment, not claims on cash flow.
So if all else fails, you can take that gold chain, go buy yourself a sandwich.
Here is the problem. The problem is, and I've said this before, you're trying to take a square peg and shove it into a round hole.
Whoa. You stop trying to shove stuff in here.
You can't. It's different. Like digital assets, it's a completely different sector. Stop trying to squeeze it into one box or the other because you're too freaking lazy to come up with new rules and regulations and guidance. So you say, trades like security is a security. No, it's not. It's not. It's so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating because we understand what crypto can do and what the technology can do for companies, for people, and these bureaucrats, these assholes who don't like how much money do these people make? They run for office, and you have something like this, and you look at other countries, what they're doing, and we're sitting here, and our politicians and lawmakers and regulators saying, man, it's a security. Everything's a security. It's not. It's not. The law you passed in the 30s, things have changed. We have internet now. You know?
Hey, let me ask you something. If you had a company and you had a lot of different people and different, this department was arguing here and your finance department is messing up here, but then you have, your accountant is saying this is all messed up. And how would you fix it, right? You kind of call a meeting. You would have representatives from each department or head here, and you would get around and you say, okay, what's the problem here? Let's address this. Let's figure it out. Let's put it all on the table. That's not happening in crypto. And, so with that same analogy, it's like, why don't we get the industry professionals, people that are building in crypto, people that have exchanges, the heads of these projects,
they don't want
people that have been in Bitcoin since the early days, that understand the fundamentals of it, people that hold large amounts of Bitcoin, like Michael Saylor. Let's get the heads of the exchanges out there. Let's get the heads of big layer one projects. Let's get those people in a room. Let's also get the bankers in there. Let's get people from the SEC, the Treasury Department. Let's sit down, identify the problems, identify the opportunities, and let's move forward and let's make some progress. But the thing is that that's unfortunately not how things are working here. And so you have a handful of individuals that are standing up, grabbing a microphone and yelling and saying this is evil and bad. And then when the people that that have knowledge and insight and have experience in the industry when they are like, hey, well, can I get a voice at the table? They don't allow them to even grab the microphone. And so we're not going to see any fundamental progress into adoption. That's why I said earlier that, hey, we're going to need Coinbase to go through this fight, because because at this point, lawmakers aren't going to do this on their own, right? I mean, the Lummis bill is, that was written back in 2021. They're rewriting it and changing stuff. When will it go up for vote? Will it ever go up for vote? And even then, it doesn't classify what securities and commodities is in her bills. They'll say, hey, this department will oversee this. This will give a little more clarity to that. It's a good step, but it isn't even the step that we need. And there's just no progress going on, man.
But this is why also Grayscale is doing what it's doing. Because everybody's getting tired. How long are we going to wait? Other country, they're way, way ahead of us.
Yeah,
Coinbase,
it's rough, man.
Grayscale.
Rob, let's take a quick break. Why don't we show some love to some of the new
All right. So if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We have Bully Berry, Ocean View Coffee Crew. Also, ROIL. And then we also have Stephen Elder, Dynam Mike, Joshua. And then.
How was that so hard? Dynamite.
Dynamite. Okay, I got you.
It was easy. It was easy.
What's up, bro? Also, One Day Rewards and Sude Houston. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. And it's an hola without the H. OLA. Portuguese style. Also, we got Magdi and Brad and David Ara up in here, and Mike Volmer.
What about my boy Brad?
I said Brad.
What about Magdi?
Mag who?
Magdi. David Ara.
Yeah, I said all those people, man.
Okay. My bad.
Lead the shout outs to me, bro.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Hola!
So we finished our poll.
Let me get a hola in here as well. If you're new here, what we do is we go up into other people's chats and we drop the holas.
That's our calling. That's our mating call.
Yeah. So if you ever been into somebody else's chat, all of a sudden you see holas just dropping everywhere.
Terrible.
It's because we over here we sounding off. Also, did you know that we changed the tier 1 membership level to Sinners? So we no longer have a crypto fam. We are now part of the Center community.
Center community.
And
that's the dopest name, bro. I'm sorry.
Dude, it's badass. See crypto fam. That's going away. We're gonna give a new graphic. We're gonna be all Centers here. Let's show support. Let's get the holas in the chat. Also, hit the like button if you like what we're doing.
Guys, 9 more likes and Jimmy's special box of gifts opens up.
Oh,
jeez.
I love Jimmy.
The official hype man. Also, we got Positive World Meditation up in here. Multi-sig dummy.
MSD. All right.
Hola.
Guys, let's get back to this next part's very interesting, actually. Very interesting. Rocco, please. Cue the top. So, this next segment is titled, Cryptocurrencies Generally Do Not Perform All the Functions of Money as Effectively as Sovereign Money, such as a United States dollar. So, it talks about money serves 3 functions: as a unit of account, as a medium of exchange, and as a store of value, okay? Although cryptocurrencies currently serve each of these functions, okay? Although cryptocurrencies currently serve each of these functions, they only do so in limited ways in the United States. Well, I fucking wonder why. I wonder the hell why they only serve a limited purpose in the United States. I got one guess. Maybe because you want them to serve a limited purpose? So they do not serve from economic perspective as an effective alternative to the US dollar.
Gary.
You know, I've cursed more today than I have in the last 3 months. And I don't like it. But I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's like you're attacking my soul.
You know, you feel a little better if you found out Jimmy gave us 10 gifted memberships.
I would feel better.
Not to us, but to the community. And so, thank you again, Jimmy. We got Keeler, Tori, SPR, Johannes Gamboa, E Senior, Mike Rocks. Tom Crown also got a gifted membership.
Damn, Tom Crown.
Knox Bill.
Dude, Tom Crown.
Sister Love. We still got to get him on the show. Tom, let's go.
I'm starting to think Tom doesn't like us. Starting to think Tom doesn't want to come on our
busy,
show.
man.
Tom, do you want to come on our show?
He's a busy guy, bro. And then we got 1 day rewards also.
Tom, do you love me, Tom? Kidding. All right. So,
what's up?
take it away.
What am I?
Although cryptocurrencies currently serve, they do so in limited ways. You got anything to add to this, or should I move on?
You know what? They're naive, right? Because all you need, I'm telling you, is retail to offer services in crypto. And it's just retail adoption. That's all it is. Because users have the ability to download, to buy crypto, store it, have it in your wallet. We just need retail to accept it. And what would be nice is if we could get Samsung and Apple. If Samsung and Apple can offer it in their wallet services, man, that's it, man. I mean, you have it in like the Cash App. I mean, it's there. You have it on Twitter. There's lots of exposure. We're just missing that big piece because everyone.
Are we gonna be able to get that big piece?
Everyone that has a smartphone usually has a wallet attached to it, either through the Samsung Pay or through Apple. And
unless Daddy Government comes in, Uncle Sam Bankman-Fried.
Anyways. So you can start with Bitcoin, the Lightning Network. I'm not even a fan of Lightning Network, but we can start there. We can start there and then YOLO afterwards.
So here's interesting. The strength of the United States dollar is derived from several important factors, such as faith in government institutions and the legal system, but cryptocurrencies lack these factors. I beg to fucking differ. I beg to differ. I have more faith in the Bitcoin miners than I do in the banks. I have more faith in the node operators on Ethereum than I have in the banking system. I have more faith in Charles Hoskinson than I have in whatever this guy is.
Here's a real question. Would you feel more comfortable keeping $500,000 in a bank account or on Coinbase? That's a real question.
That's a good question.
I don't know let's ask the chat. Okay, chat, would you feel more comfortable keeping $500,000 in, let's say, Bank of America, at a major bank, nothing crazy. I mean, would you feel more comfortable keeping $500,000 in a major bank, or would you feel more comfortable keeping it on Coinbase?
Let me ask you this
question. 1
question.
for traditional bank, 2 for Coinbase. I want to know where the chat lies. Also, we got our Around the Blockchain is in here in the chat. We'll actually be on there Monday next week.
Next Monday.
Yeah, so
here's my one question, Robin.
What's up?
Is it like my savings account, or is it?
It's $500,000. I don't know if you got $500,000 in your savings.
If I got $500,000,
you just came across $500,000.
Okay.
You gonna keep it in the bank in one account, or
am I keeping it as U.S. dollars, or am I keeping it as crypto on Coinbase?
In U.S. dollars.
U.S.
U.S. dollars.
It hurts me to say, but I'm going to say I'm going to say the bank.
Yeah, I probably would. I feel like the FDIC will just print money.
Oh well, they will. They will.
So
plus, at least half of that will be covered by the FDIC, unless they raise the limit. Which every time a crisis happened, they've raised the limit. The only reason we're at 250 is because of 2008. Before that, we were not at 250. So.
But you know what's interesting is that we stopped and thought about it, right? The fact that it wasn't like an easy no-brainer, it shows you the fragility of the banking system.
Oh, 100%.
Because I feel like if we would have asked that question amongst ourselves, let's say in 2020 or 2019, I think it would have been a no-brainer. Like, nah, bro, I'm going to go. And you shouldn't keep your money on exchanges anyways. But I'm just saying that now you're starting to question keeping your money over the FDIC limit at 250. Is it gonna be safe there because of the malpractices and the risky procedures that the banks have with, using your money elsewhere, taking on risk and losing it? And we had the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen coming out saying that, hey, we ain't backstopping all credit, all deposits. Do we have an article on that too?
Not an article, but since you brought that up, Robin.
She literally said, hey, slow the hell down. The Fed and the Treasury are not going to bail out every single bank account. We're only going to stop what we deem as a risk to a larger bank run and a collapse of the system. So if you had $500,000 in a bank account and that bank went under and they deemed it as not a threat to a collapsing the economy, they going to keep their hands off and let the FDIC just give you that $250,000. That's it.
Ooh.
She also said situations like run on Silicon Valley Bank may more readily happen in the future. So I was listening to a podcast or watching a show, a macro show or something about the banks. They're sounding the alarm on commercial real estate debt. And man, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get very ugly. Going back to the other ugly, which is this stupid thing. The strength of the U.S. dollar. Oh, we already went through these, right?
Yeah. Okay. Is there any more juicy highlights?
I don't. Maybe. I don't know.
You know one more things about Coinbase? You can travel anywhere in the world, and if you really need it, you don't have to use the bank. And you can move it in the ledger and spend it whatever you want. And assuming
you just gotta make sure that where you're trying to spend it, they take crypto. That's the only thing that's really stopping crypto from getting mainstream adoption. And a lot of it comes from just the ease of use that is the credit card system. Thing is, you open up a gas station or whatever it is. What happens? You have the representative from the bank come over like, hey, well, you need this teller machine and this point of sale machine, and hey, it has Visa, MasterCard. That's what you need. And obviously, like, I wouldn't open up a gas station and not take Visa, MasterCard. It's a no-brainer. However, we just need the person to say, alongside Visa, MasterCard, let me also include some crypto. What's up, bro? You all right?
I'm bringing my blood pressure down because it's about to explode. Top us off.
What happened?
Stable coins can be subject to a run risk. A fundamental problem with stablecoin is one that has been known in the traditional banking sector for centuries, a run risk. Stablecoin holders wish to redeem their stablecoins for $1 each. This will require the stablecoin issuer to liquidate some of its reserves. So,
I don't see anything that says bailout there.
in the midst of one of the worst bank runs, the 16th largest bank in the U.S. going under, another one having been taken over, another one having to have 7 competitors dump $30 billion because of a bank run of less than 10% of what you're supposed to, of what the total assets are at banks. And you got the gall to sit here and say stable coins run the risk. Last time I checked, at least 70% of Tether's holdings is in your highly liquid treasury bills.
How much USDC got ran out? How many USDs? How many billions of dollars was it?
$3.3 billion was locked. Okay, $3.3 billion.
And how much did they draw on it? Because they had, I think they had total of like 60 or 70 billion, right? Total.
No, like
and
total market cap was around 50.
Okay.
USDC, right?
Yeah, USDC.
Yes.
No,
It
they were at 60. They were at 60 million right before that happened.
Okay.
And then they had 3.5 billion locked up. And then how much are they at now on market cap?
30.
So they had a run of almost 50%. What bank out here can facilitate 50%
No
withdrawal?
one.
Exactly.
No one.
You have a stable coin here that had a run of 50% of its market cap drained, and they facilitated, they're still running. You have one bank get 20% of their customers come in and ask for their money. They gotta either go under or they gotta ask the Fed or the government for money. What's a better option?
You know what's fucking hilarious? It's the bank. It's the banking system that caused stable coins to become unstable and depeg from a dollar.
Here's the thing, man. I will say this. If you're watching our show for the first time, we're not angry people. We are not angry people.
But today?
We do not have a show where we just complain all day. I don't like complainers. But sometimes you gotta call it as you see it. You gotta be like, what the hell is going on? You gotta drop the damn hammer on these people, man. And I'm telling you, I don't want to be angry, man. I want to have a happy life, happy crypto. I want us to come in here and be like, hey, portfolio's looking good. Coinbase is juicy. Like I don't want to be mad. We don't try to have this negative show. Like we're not trying to like highlight all the bad in our space. There's so much good. But sometimes you have this culmination, you have a tornado that hits LA, and all this bad news in crypto just comes at the same time. You got the executive branch coming up with this BS thing. You got Gary Gensler suing anybody that's ever touched crypto, and it's just it's absurd to me. And then as all of this is happening, as you're trying to set on fire the crypto industry, the banking system that you're praising is falling apart at the seams. And what are you doing to save it? You're printing to death, and you're inflating our supply, and you're just destroying what
people
only
are
value
ditching
that
the
we
dollar.
use. Yeah, exactly. That's
People
all pissed,
are ditching
man.
the dollar.
But come back tomorrow. We'll be happy. It'll be a good show.
To round us out, finish it off. Stablecoins currently have a few major impediments against becoming fast payment instruments. For one, stablecoins are too risky to satisfy this need at present. Additionally, as we discussed below, general concerns about consumer investor protection in the crypto asset space. Save me the bullshit. You don't give a crap about investor protection. All right.
It's okay.
Man,
As your blood sugar, man.
I got a headache.
Dude,
bro.
I don't want, like I said, man, I don't want to be like that, man. Trying to have like a cool show, man. We got like, club music and we argue and, it's usually fun times, man. And, man, I'm all pissed off. And Paul Wu drops a $10 super chat. He says, run for Congress already.
I do.
Absolutely not.
Decline. You won't last 6
Brookie
months.
Yoshi.
I would not last there long, man. I have short temper, and I like to argue when people.
Can you imagine?
Especially
Hold
when
on.
somebody says something stupid, and I
Can you imagine
have to
Elizabeth-
interrupt them. I'm like,
Can you imagine
that's
you're in front
why
of
I interrupt you all the time.
Imagine you're in front of Elizabeth Warren and she asks you a question and you go to answer. She starts keep cutting you off, bro.
You just
I
walk
would
away.
lose my
You
cool.
just walk away.
I would probably get fired. Also, Brokioshi gifted 10 memberships. So big shout out to our community. Guys, if you are new here, let me tell you something about our community. This community is so badass. A lot of them have been with us since we were at 20 viewers, and we get over 300. And they're informative, they're respectful, they're giving, they're friendly. And so if you're here, be a sinner, follow those guidelines, and you're going to have a great time. We're going to wrap the show up for today. Man, what a show today. Today was such a good show. Tomorrow's going to be even better show.
What's the club limit tomorrow? 350? You think we can get there?
We got to get to 350.
Yeah.
Should we start doing likes instead, Roman?
No. Yeah, we got to keep it viewers. We ain't changing it now.
Yeah.
Also, if you're new here, just big shout out. We got PT Reddish up in here as well. Gleb, me, and Jay. Just the letter J. To all of you. Hola!
Also, a couple things we didn't get to cover. We'll cover those tomorrow. We have our man Forrest joining us. He's going to go over some charts. We'll see where Bitcoin is at. A lot of people are calling for 30K. Will it happen? Who knows? Possibly. Shout out to everyone who joined us. Make sure to go check out all of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
And you also have a Polygon emoji now. So
We do. Go join our Discord, and huge shout out to our whale members. Make sure to stay tuned. You will see your name in the credits because you helped the show. So with that being said, Rocco,
Yes. Ready? Is that from
you don't know what that
California?
is, guys. That is called a
the LA
finger.
LA tornado.
That's from California
Tornado.
because
LA
if it's not from
The
California. it's from-
Montebello tornado.
From
It's a
Napa
little
Valley.
small.
From
Actually,
Napa.
tornadoes come down, so should go like
Yeah.
but I go like this because it's my tornado, baby. Guys,
he
thank
thinks that
you.
move is so sweet.
Thank you so much for joining us on this amazing Thursday. We hope you had a great time. To all the new people, make sure you subscribe, ping the notification bell. We'll see you back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. On behalf of myself, Robert Rocco, we love you.
We also
Until
got
tomorrow.
Zachariah, also Chris Howard, Central Toast. We got Crypto Bow Hunter. I know nothing. To all of you. Hola!
Called the Creepy Dough Dance. Creepy Shoulder Dance. Rocco rolled up. King.